this video, I will explain how the digestive system works. Digestion is a complex process that turns the food we eat into nutrients. Proteins can be broken down into amino acids. Fats can be broken into fatty acids and glycerol, and carbohydrates into simple sugars. These nutrients provide energy to our body and help with growth and cell repair. So, let's see how we digest a piece of salmon. Before we even put a bit of salmon in the mouth, our digestive system and brain start to send signals to the stomach to secrete gastric juice. The salivary glands also begin to produce saliva to prepare for digestion. Chewing is a mechanical digestion process in which the salmon will be broken into smaller bits by our tongue and teeth. A chemical digestion process also begins in our mouth. When the salmon is chewed and mixed with saliva, an enzyme called amylase in the saliva will digest the carbohydrates in the salmon. After the chewing process, the salmon moves to our stomach through the peristalsis movements in the esophagus. The stomach releases gastric juice when it receives food. The powerful contraction of the stomach will mix the salmon bolus with gastric juice, turning that into a chyme. Pepsin is an enzyme in the gastric juice breaks the proteins in the salmon into amino acids. Fatty fish like salmon usually stays in our stomach for 2 to 6 hours before it goes to our small intestine. The small intestine is a tube-like organ that can further digest food and absorb nutrients. The partly digested salmon will be pushed through the small intestine forward and backward and mixed with digestive secretions by a local rhythmic constriction called segmentation. This mechanical digestive process can also enhance the absorption of the nutrients in the salmon. Digestion and absorption in the small intestine need help from the pancreas and gallbladder. When the salmon enters the duodenum, hormones called secretin and CCK will be released, signaling the pancreas to release pancreatic juice, and the liver secretes bile into the gallbladder. The pancreatic juice contains bicarbonate ions and digestive enzymes. The bicarbonate ions can neutralize the acid in salmon's chyme, which allows those enzymes from the pancreas to function. Pancreatic enzymes like trypsin and chymotrypsin can break the proteins in the salmon into shorter and shorter chains of amino acids. During the digestion in the small intestine, the gallbladder secretes bile to emulsify the fats in the salmon or break them into smaller droplets. These fat droplets will then be broken into fatty acids by lipase, a fat-digesting enzyme produced by the pancreas. Most nutrients in the salmon's chyme will be absorbed in the small intestine. The walls of the small intestine are lined with finger-like projections called villi. They absorb most nutrients into the circulatory system's capillaries and the lymphatic system's lacteals. Fatty acids from broken down salmon go into the lacteals. Other nutrients enter the bloodstream and are taken to the liver via the hepatic vein. In the final stage, the salmon's chyme goes to the large intestine, where the remaining water and nutrients are absorbed. It will become a solid waste called feces through dehydration and peristalsis in the large intestine. The feces can be stored in the large intestine until eliminated at a convenient moment.